Another Busa engine, another one coming up. This one's got a bit more spice in it though. This is a 1440, built by RLM, the guys, our go-to guys, Rich in RLM Racing. Hashtag Jackson, this is going to. Gonna be a nice little car, Busa car. I think it made 230 odd horsepower. Right, so first up we've got hashtag Peter's car here. New build, Hayabusa Engine 1. So it's running a cup base chassis, but with some sprinkle on the Busa engine here. This is a RLM engine. Worked with them in collaboration, Peter has as well. This is a 1440 Busa engine. This will make somewhere in the region of 240 horsepower. It's got upgraded everything inside, even longer 5th and 6th gear as well. We're just putting on the drive-by-wire Gen 3 throttle bodies as well, so it's got the fuel rail, all the setup that we work with RLM. Different injectors, different fuel rail, the billet adapters, all the drive-by-wire motor part is there, so the cable comes in and it will be linked into this with a wiring loom. Yeah, so all of that's in. We've got all the prop shaft, the two-piece prop shaft running through in, the wiring starting to go in, steering column. So this is our IVA compliant collapsible steering column that we use, so that it's from a safety point of view that it impacts on both ways. This part collapses on itself, which is really nice. You've seen it before, but also billet padded box, nicely detailed down in there with all the MK logos on it. It looks really smart. Then we move round. It's got all the sump system on it. We've got the wet sump system on this. It's hard to see the picture of it, but race proven, track proven, total awesome bit of kit that basically negates the need for any kind of dry sump system really. All the wiring and sensors are in, things like fuel pressure and all of those sensors are in. We've got our header tank and catch tank setup here, which we use as standard now. All the brackets is all mounted, and all our, it's our cup setup basically. Radiators, which is a 70mm core and a 34 row oil cooler. More than sufficient cooling package for this. All our inboard suspension has been mounted. Then we go into the front end. Look at this, there's so much going on this car. We've got all the our new billet front uprights with the brackets, with a 265mm disc, so it's rather large, with the aluminium hubs, wheelwood calipers on here. We've got a very nice quick rack on here. We've got the 2.2 quick rack on here as well, so customer's going to use this road and track work, so it'd be nice to have the slightly quicker steering rack. And then moving along to the rear end, just in the centre here, you can see where we mount, you don't see it that often, where we mount the electric reverse motor with a sprocket. So bike engines for IVA. I'm not teaching you out, guys, we probably said over it again, but you need it for IVA compliances, and also some racing regulations require you to have reverse still. And then the basic setup in the back here, it's proven solution, our fabricated rear uprights, billet bearing carriers. We've got the Sierra brakes on the rear, our fuel tank set up with all our fuel pump and our breather system in here, all nicely dialed in. We have an internal pump with pressure regulators and filters all mounted in the tank as well. 3.14 ratio diff with an LSD in here as well, so it's gearing this car slightly more because it's got more power. This car will do well north of 140 miles an hour. It shouldn't be a problem at all with that 1440 in it, 240 horsepower, so it's pretty good. And right the way through, all new brand new drive shaft. We're just putting the handbrake cables in now, linking them up. And remember guys, if you're running the Sierra Caliber with 13-inch wheels, make sure you get the 3 coil springs as well to clearance on the alloy wheels, which we sell, which if you don't know, hook us up, phone call, email, we can talk you through those, but they're available on our website for anybody who's updating from going from 15-inch wheels to 13-inch wheels. So yeah, a few other little bits are in. We've got the gear lever, and we've got to put the linkage in, but the linkage we've got to sort out because it has a strain gauge on it for the flat shift, because this is going to have full flat, up and down shift on this with auto blip. So nice bit of kit, nice bit of kit. So that's hashtag Peter's car. Neil just reminded me, Bodywork's all been dry fitted, but that's gone off for paint. I'm not going to tell you colour, you'll have to wait and see. Now we've been fitting lots of bits to this. We've had this go into paint. I can't remember the blue, its exact cool colour actually, but it is very, very metallic, very, very nice. Joe's just been with kid gloves fitting all the bodywork on this, trimming it all up, fitting all the holes for the roll cages. We've carpeted all the interiors here. That's all done, back panel done, interior panels done to stop the vibration sound. So if you can hear there, and then there is a difference in sound between the two. It's different. So we've got the rear arches going on, and then we're in with all the light packs started to be fitted on this particular car. As I say, we're going to be doing the new style nut light pack that we do with the all-in-one LED light with fog light here, which is on the Sprint car, which I'm sure you'll shoot a picture up in a minute, Lewis, off. We're doing that on this particular one, and the clear light LED pack. Such a nice paint job, really nice. So we're on with this one. All the other bits are fitted body panels we've put up out the way in case they get marked. We put them all out the way. They've all been dry fitted. Now we're on with wiring. It's got the drive-by-wire throttle bodies on here, which is Gen 3 stuff. This is a big booster on here as well, so it's going to make big power. Peter's going to be a very happy boy when this one starts giving on song. It is awesome. So just like little things like here, this is where we fit. On our particular one, this is where we fit the drive-by-wire. So it's a little cable, comes off your throttle pedal here, and it actuates this, and then electronically sends it up to the motor on the side of the throttle body, so you can have flat upshift and flat downshift. So that's where we fit the motor, and the fuse box is normally mounted down in here, which will get fitted as well in that sense as well. So that's all coming together really quite nicely, and we'll move on. What's next? What's next, Lewis? Here we are with well, the CUP200 Plus, I should call this, because that's an RLM built engine that will make way over 230 horsepower. Booster engine in there. Spoke about this the other week, but front end's pretty much getting a bit like this car, buttoned up. They're the same principle. Big rad, 70mm rad with a 34mm 34 row even oil cooler. All the front ends on. Headlights and headlight bars have all gone in now. These, we make them a bolt on affair, so if you are going on track and you want to unbolt them, there'll be a little plug, you'll be able to take that bolt out, put it back in aerodynamically make it a bit more efficient than what that is now, I suppose. But if you're going to be racing as well, you don't really want headlights on there. It's just something that could have an impact, and etc. There we've got wing stays have all gone on now. They've got to be trimmed for IVA, but they've all gone on. These are all prefabricated, so they are a bolt on. 2 bolts here, 1 bolt underneath. It's on this M14 top bolt. So really simple and easy to fit, and we do that for the racing purposes, that if you've got any damages or etc, we can replace them really quickly. And not forgetting, you've just got to do the little job here, which is the little dot indicators to go in to make it IVA compliant. So once they're in and they've been bonded on, so they get double bonded. First bond is in the stage of going underneath. I think you're doing a video on this, Lewis, and you had to fit it. He's going, yes, we're going to give you a little video to show you how we fit the wing stays as well. So that'd be very useful for you guys that are building at home, but also maybe if you've bought a set of these off the internet site, then you know how to fit them as well. Moving on through the car, pretty much the same in here. This hasn't changed much at the moment. We've been working on the interior and the dashboard. So we have fitted the padded tunnel top. Now these come pretty simple affair to fit. We use poppers down here, same as you do the boot covering, the same principle. So you've got a little popper just there to pop it off and on. So if you ever want access to underneath here, it's easy enough. Pop the poppers off, the cover comes off. We've got a little metal cover, laser cut one that sits under here. You can get complete access. All the gear lever, really nicely detailed and done. They're so nice to manoeuvre. And then the dashboard's gone in here, making sure this is a name Strada. Really nice dash, actually, nice bit of kit. And it's got the casing around it here that we put on just for IVA to make sure it complies with the 2.5mm radius. And all the switch gearing, pretty much telling you what it needs to be. In this one for your ECU, this one here would normally be another one that we, well, don't need it on at this particular moment because it's having a freewheel, which is this. So that'll be one of the jobs we've got to do next. Fitting up the button steering wheels on this one and moving that forward. And then moving on, all nicely done and buttoned up in the back end really. One little last job with here was fitting all the lights. So we've got the LED lights here, side brake indicator and reverse in those, and a reflector. And these all meet IVA compliance, so UK IVA compliance, so work really well. And then our new fog light module, which is all in one. So the fog light here, and then casing's 3D printed that we do, and it's got the little LED light in there as well for your number plate. And these meet again the requirements and the E markings for your IVA purposes, are making it completely road legal. So that's all looking really smart. I do like the colour of this, guys. Give us your thoughts. What do you think? It's painted blue. You can't really tell in the pictures, but it has got quite a lot of sparkle in it. Just a shame the cameras don't pick it up really, because you need it out in the sun, but it's such a lovely colour. And as soon as you started bolting the black on it, gotta say, really changed it. I like this a lot. So next up, another Busa car, but generation 2. It's an RLM built engine. We've shown you this, I know you've been following us. Generation 2 with the angle throttle bodies. Now, so I was talking about the Gen 3 throttle bodies in there. That's them sitting there, but an injector change on these and a billet fuel rail in here to get the angled adapters under the flat bonnet. And then you can run a drive-by-wire with a flat shift up and flat shift down. It's got not an auto blip on it as well. Big Busa, 230 plus brake horsepower. Again, got the steering wheel controls, but this one's got the aim dash, which is pretty trick actually when it all kicks in. Looks very smart. Probably camera system, you can link up to it, everything else. Just getting it all prepped for IVA really. All starts and runs now. We've just got a few little bits on the speedo sensor and a few other bits to do, get it off. But the most impressive thing about this, I wish you could see it, is the colour. The colour is stunning. It's definitely becoming our firm favourite in the workshop, isn't it, Lewis? It's pretty trick actually. So yeah, a few little bits to do and then it's going to be ready to get to IVA. So again, it's got the billet front uprights, it's got the billet bearing carriers on the rear, it's got really nice carbon boot cover, and then it's actually running in the back here. It's got a 314 diff because it's running a bit more power. You can run a 314 diff. It's got our fuel tank system with in pump and fuel regulator all built in one there. And it's actually got on this particular one the new fog light module. If you haven't seen it, guys, you're just tuning in for the first time. Fog light, which is E-marked for IVA, and it's got the little let's shine it on. Picture it up. Let's do it. Lights on. Let's put the fog on. There we go. So fog's on. You've got your number plate light there, which reflects nicely, and your fog all in one. Really nice little unit actually. Unfortunately only available through MK Sportscars because we designed it. Sorry guys, but it's really nice little features and like that we always try to a little bit of attention to detail or doing something different, and we'll continue that into 2025. So right, so next up here we've got the CUP200 Plus, which is the spicy RLM engine, which is a 1440. Very nice. This is in its final stages, just waiting for an IVA date on this one as well, but we've been on with doing the emissions with that as well. We got guys, Richard RLM, because it's his engine. We've got him just on the video call just to help us give us the tweaking on that. It's on the life ECU management, so it's pretty good to do with a drive-by-wire as well, all working. We've put our system on it for now. It's got our cat system in there. Probably get rid of the cat if you're doing on track days. Don't need that in there. We'll pull that off, but really nice in the blue. So we'll see if it runs. A bit like the other one. Fuel pump's going. I tell you what I do need the immobiliser, don't I? Another one. Right, we'll go ignition and we'll go start. And there she rolls. So, bingo von lingo. Again, two forms of immobilisation. We've got a key and immobiliser here on this particular vehicle. This is pretty much just waiting for the date now. We've got to put the seats in. Everything else is done on this car. It's all been geoed with all the little factors in of little edges and covers and things like that for the radiuses, and the grille mesh is all done. So she's all ready to go. Bonnet to throw on, seats to go in, and we're just waiting on a date on this now for IVA. So yeah, looking forward to this. I'm sure the customer will be looking forward in the new year in 2025. Once it warms up a little bit, getting this out, and it's going to be an absolute track record. And it's going to be based near Snetterton actually, so he's going to have an absolute blast kicking its head in around Snetterton, that's for sure. What a great start to the year so far. It's been brilliant. And why has it been brilliant? Well, we've first week, and we've had 2 cars in for IVA, this being one of them, which is the CUP200 Plus, which has got a spicy 1440 RLM engine in it. This is successfully passed its IVA today. Did a few other little tweaks in this for this customer. We put some padded seats in now for him, and a few other little bits. We're going to, customers coming in just to finalise a few bits. We're going to have a camera system put on it, an aim camera system, because we've got the aim dash on here, all fitted up. And there's a few little bits we just need to tweak on it for the customer when he comes in for the final fit and finish, and then delivery to the customer. So yeah, this is all through, looking great. Car's amazing. This paint job's brilliant. It looks super. Really, it's so hard to see in this colour, but on the camera, but in this blue, she looks stunning. Right, next up, another CUP200 car, booster powered. 1440. There's a separate video going out on this on the dyno, because we've been up at RLM on this and giving it the full beans on the rolling road, get it tuned, get it dialed in, making really good power. It says 200 plus, as we like to call it. Couple of little bits, which is the boot box going in. So we're fitting that in there for the customer. He wanted it, but he didn't want the fuel cap in the back, so we're having to change the fuel tank a little bit, and we've got to modify a fuel tank. In fact, we've got to make a new one to give the outlet to here, because he wanted it under here in this corner in the boot box. So we're having to come out of the fuel tank. Instead of at the top, this is the fuel tank's out now. So this will give you an idea. This is where we normally have it to come out the back panel. What we're going to have to do is come out the side here, and that will then be able to go into the fuel filler cap in the corner there. It'll probably help with filling. It'll make it nice and easier. We normally put everything we do at the back here. Boot box going in, we've got to finish that off. It's all trimmed, ready to go. Boot cover's all done. Then we put the fuel tank in once that's made, and then we can button up the harnesses, get all of that in there. But we've made it so that this centre section can come out, so that if you need to access at any time your spanner checks, checking over the vehicle, diff oil change or anything like that, or just checking things over, you can take that centre section out, and it's very easy in terms of forms of maintenance and everything else. It's also had the LED headlight conversion on this as well now. These have gone on from the standard H4 bulbs. It's got the, which is these. So instead of that, and you've seen it 100 times, probably quite a few of you follow us, but these are pretty trick. They look pretty cool. That's nice to see. Lights on. There you go, some halos. Here's looking at you, kid. Look like a pair of eyes, don't they, Lewis? Hey? There's no indicators in those on that particular one. We've sort of kept it as standard. This is on a freewheel as well, that the indicator's underneath, and just done the daytime running light all the time on it. You can put the indicators, you could wire them if you want to, but it's not really a requirement. You can't have more than that. 2, you've got to just have the 1 or 1, so you could delete that, but we've left it as it is. So all that's done, the aero screen's gone on, looking rather nice. I've got a little surround around the AIM dashboard as well. That's gone in, little 3D printed one. So a few little tweaks to do on this. Looking rather sharp though, really nice. But yeah, watch out. When's that video for the 200 Plus come out?
It will either be this Sunday or following Wednesday, so
yeah,
before or after this video?
Yeah, before or after, so you can watch that, separate video on it. It makes really good numbers, and it goes 11,200 RPM. Brilliant, brilliant.